Peace and blessings, everybody. Chilling with Sid Bull. I'd like to thank y'all for being here today. If y'all like what y'all see, make sure y'all hit a subscribe, a like, and place a comment at the bottom. I got some of this Masters of Arts up here. Some beautiful plants also. So if y'all interested, make sure y'all get with me. And peace and blessings to all y'all out there. But today, I'd like to be talking about an important topic. And this is a topic that a lot of people have no concern about or even acknowledge it because it's real. I mean, but, well, let me just get to it. Nullifying life insurance policies. I feel like for criminal histories. And the reason why I say that because I also kind of been like victimized in a situation, you know what I'm saying, with myself. But the thing is, if you a man or a woman that know how to use your brain, you can always move around certain things though. But the topic I want to speak that I'm going to speak about today is basically nullifying life insurance policies for criminal history, because for the most part I want to educate people on something. Did you know that anybody that has a felony, on probation, or any stipulations, or in prison, or whatever the case may be, cannot get life insurance? And I feel like that's a topic we need to speak on. People are like, oh, whatever, big deal, whatever. How the fuck you gonna bury yourself? You know what I'm saying? What you gonna leave to your children? You see what I'm saying? What you gonna leave your burden on somebody else to stress up to come up with the money to bury your ass? We need to start taking those things into consideration, though. You know what I mean? In a lot of different aspects, though. But for anybody that do have a life insurance policy, I feel like you're going through the same thing if you don't have a full life. You know what I mean? You got to get a full life. You know what I mean? You lapse, so you get your money. You feel me? Don't be a dummy and pay for other shit that ain't even worth the while. You feel me? It's not even worth the investment. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're a secured party creditor and have some bankroll to back up yourself in a lot of different aspects. But anyways, get back to the subject where I want to speak. What I'm going to be speaking about is nullifying life insurance policies for criminal history. And I'm in the process right now. Already wrote up the bill to nullify life insurance policies for criminal histories. And I don't, you know what I'm saying, know how to take it further into, you know what I'm saying, to the bill process, because I don't get in a lot of political things, you know what I mean? I don't have any parties or anything like that. So that's just something that I'm uneducated on, that I got to reach out to my sources to help educate me so I can be aware of how to do these things with the project that I'm taking about. And see, me, a person, and the things that I've been through, I speak. You know what I'm saying? But also my actions show a lot more than what I speak, though, in a lot of aspects. You know, and I feel that people will never acknowledge you for what you do until you're dead and gone anyway, you know. But overall, you need to be concerned about you being dead and gone if you don't got no goddamn life insurance policy, because for the most part, you know, your family gonna have to struggle and everything else. Okay, if you on probation, right, you can't get life insurance policy. I mean, it's a toss-up. I mean, it's up to their discretion. Then, if you in prison, and this the fucked up thing is, though, because most people that have, you know, money on their books, more 10 grand or better or something like that, the prisoners start charging them to house them. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of situations. And you telling me that they got to rely on a prison to get them, to bury them? Then if they family want their body, they family have to pay for it to get them shipped. But it wasn't no way that these people could ever receive life insurance, a life insurance policy, just by them being locked up, and, you know what I mean, and stored away. You feel me? I mean, shit. If they had a choice, I'm pretty sure they'd do a lot of things that they can do. But the thing is, there's so many stipulations on these big corporations and these policies where that shit just need to do away. Because who say a person shouldn't have life insurance policy when everybody need one? You know what I mean? everybody don't need to be a financial burden on anybody else when they pass away. So those are things that we need to take into consideration, you know. And it's just like, just say if you have a life, your family or whoever, you know what I mean, have you have, you know, in their life insurance policy, you are the beneficiary, and you're on probation, you're on house arrest, or whatever the case may be, and they say, well, you have to wait this amount of time before you can receive this money, or whatever the case may be. Now, it's in a corporate war state, just because, for the simple fact, you in these stipulations where the policy is rejected on you, like, you know, the policy have to get switched over to you, you know what I mean, in a lot of aspects. So you got to think about it, you know. Life insurance will not be in your favor of receiving money if you're in prison, and a lot of things like that. You know, you have to fight for those things and get lawyers and stuff like that, where a lot of people don't have the education to pursue things because they don't have the money or the knowledge or the time. But it goes off into a whole different thing when you're talking about their bylaws and insurance policies and things like that. I'm just figuring out a way how we can nullify it, you know what I'm saying? Just by getting it all out the way, because when I got my letter back, you know, I was thinking like, all right, denial for this, that, more than a simple fact. I was worried about a disease. Not that I'm a, you know, person out there like that, but I was thinking like more like, shit, I get denied because of a, you know, disease or something like that. But when it came to my criminal history, I was like, what the hell? You know, I mean, so it was like, you know, not that I ever had a disease neither, but anyways, you know, I feel like when it come down to nullifying this insurance contract for criminal histories, we have to understand we can't let anybody else be the financial burden. You know what I mean? Burden. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, that burden. So we got to understand, you know, are we going to take care of ourselves, or are we going to let somebody else do it? And I feel, and for the most part, what if you don't have no family? What if you're the only one around, but you have children? Don't you want to leave your children something? You don't want them growing up in a strange world to say, well, I don't have any, you know, this side, or I don't know them. You know what I'm saying? Just say, I don't know them, or whatever the case may be. And things going to be a lot hard for them, though. But if you bag them up with some financial security, some collateral, you know, a sense of education, how to gravitate and things like that, maybe they can have the means to go back and search for those things that they was lacking on the family interest. You know what I mean? Not just that, it's just that big corporations discriminate, because overall they telling you that you'll die before your policy mature, and we make money off of you. So they basically saying that if you're a felon, basically you're a risk, and you probably will die within the next 10, 20, 15 years. You know, so basically, what's the point of giving you a policy? You know, basically, they're already putting judgment on your death, and they're already telling you that you have no more than 15 years to live. That's sad. You know what I mean? How a corporation could just tell us that we only got a certain amount of time that we can live on this earth. You know what I'm saying? Or that's what they estimate. They gambling against our life. You know what I'm saying? Say, nah, he'll be dead in about 10, 20 years. Don't give him no policy. You know, and things like that, you know. So it's kind of crazy. It's kind of shaky the way that these things happen. So if anybody have an interest in helping me nullify the situation, make sure y'all get with me and contact me, though, for the most part, because I feel like that's a big thing that we all gonna have to look at the end of the day when it comes to our family, when it comes to our burial. And check this out, right? Say you a felon, or you know what I mean, or you on stipulations, because they always try to say we'll wait to 1 to 5 years or 1 to 3 years before we can actually give you a policy after you get off papers, or after you get off your stipulations, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Come on, that's crazy though. But just say in the just circumstances that you need this policy, though, you know what I mean, then they say, well, we're not going to give you this policy just because you ain't been on papers long enough, or, you know, whatever the case may be. All right, something happened to you. Family don't have no money to bury you. They scrambling, and the corporate ward, they say, all right, go to your township or whatever the case may be. They give you about $7,000. But how much is $7,000 in the funeral? You know what I mean? You know, that's just enough money to say, here go a few flowers, here go, here go a homecoming and cremate you. What if a person don't want to die like that? You know, what if that's against your will? But the thing is, that's all your family can afford. And you gotta look yourself in the mirror, you know, and ask yourself, is this situation important, or is it a situation that we should just sweep up underneath the rug? Because having life insurance is very, 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 very valuable. I mean, especially full life, you know. But it's not valuable to you personally. It's valuable to the next generations to come play. Because I'd rather leave my generations ahead with something, and that was more than what my security was when I was younger, just because my people had education to get a policy, but they just wasn't aware of how corporate America handled business, you know. So I feel like getting high policies that's benefit to, you know what I mean, at least $100,000 to $1,000,000 policy, you know what I mean, if you can afford that, you know. But I feel like that's the best route to go. With 5 or 6 beneficiaries, can't lose, you know. That's a win-win, you know, because all my ancestors, when they passed, you know, it was just enough money for burial costs and things like that, you know. So those are important situations that we got to think about when it comes to life insurance. When you on probation, parole, incarcerated, things like that, you can't have a policy. You know what I'm saying? Because they telling you that your criminal history, you know what I mean, you don't deserve a policy. And I feel like at the end of the day, everybody should have the pursuit of happiness, you know, liberty and justice for all, no matter what.